Hello and welcome everyone to the April 1st edition of our SIG ContribEx Contributor Comms subproject. A reminder that we operate on a code of conduct, which basically says to be respectful to your fellow attendees and speakers, and to generally be excellent to each other. And we'll go ahead and get started. I think the notes link should be in the chat, available to everyone. I think just about everybody's on it anyway. Go ahead and put yourself in as an attendee if you haven't yet. And we'll start out with updates and big wins and then go to the open action items section. So Avinash.
Yeah, so we had a tweet yesterday about a new blog, which was what to do with 1.24 to make sure your cluster is running by cat. So the tweets are out, and thanks to Ray and Chris for helping me out with the tweets.
I saw a cat tweet about that blog and I was like, do I need to set up a tweet for that? And then I was super busy, so I didn't get to, but I'm glad that you got that done. Thanks to everyone involved for doing that. Okay, any other updates and big wins? If nothing else comes to mind, then we can start going through campaigns in progress and open AIs. Rajula, why don't you start?
Yeah, so I've tried the GitHub action we discussed. So we can't directly use it because it gets the whole blog itself. So we just want a part of it, like the URL and the title. So this way they have to add a feature upstream or change the existing actions in our repo. So there's something to figure out.
Okay, so we either need
a
different solution or to change this one.
We can use the solution, but we need some more work. So probably once that's done, I can schedule a working session with the interested folks.
Okay, cool. Progress. We can run through our open action items table at the top of the doc. Hina isn't on today, so, but she does have status on hers. Create the team in GitHub. Yeah, so Hina's first item is the thing we were working on to get Slack notifications to the contributor comms Slack group when new issues are made against us. And she had submitted the PR. I think this is the update from last time, so just kind of reviewing. Pernissoir is on today. So there was one issue with that for you, Pernissoir, because you're not part of the Kubernetes org yet. So we should work on getting you org membership. That sound good?
Yes, actually, about it, like I haven't thought about actually.
You keep cutting out.
Sorry, right.
You could type it. That might be easier. And one issue on this was that Matt was also, we were debating, should he be on this? And I reached out to Matt to check if he wanted to be removed from the contributor comms Slack group, which he said yes to. So we should update that as well. So I guess I need to add an action item. I'm just going to add it in the notes and then add it there later. So we have an action item to remove Matt Broberg from the contributor comms Slack group for the moment, since he has stepped away from the group for now. And then Hina's other one is dependent on the first one. So we'll leave that where it is. We've talked about Rajula's status on the auto generation of blog tweets. Still haven't heard anything on the Twitter Together issue, but we had that Slack thread. That link does not go where I thought it would. Must have grabbed the wrong link when I did that, but I'm going to assume that the update to Twitter Together is still in progress unless anyone has any updated information on that. Cool. So we'll assume that's in progress and maybe check in on that if we want to, but there's not a lot that we can do there aside from asking people to do the thing. Avinash, role description for a community meeting interface. We decided not to do that until considerably later, so we just have that on there as like a long tracked item. Though I do know, Avinash, there was a conversation in Slack this week about regular community meeting leader blogs. Did you have an update on that?
Yeah, so Laura said that there's some changes going on. So we'll stop as of now for the blogs, and after those changes are done, maybe we'll resume again.
Okay. So some changes in progress to the community meeting process. Good to know. And are they even going to have a community meeting this month? I guess they probably will. Do you know? Are they planning one this month?
I don't have any updates. I just missed ContribEx meet this week, so
Yeah, I wasn't able to go to it this week either. Tweet about deprecations and removals blog, which should be coming out this week. So was that the one that Kat did?
No, that's a different one.
Is that a separate one that we still need to tweet about?
Yeah, the blog, I don't think it's published yet. There's another comment on it that needs to, it's another revision of the blog needs to be done. I'll go take a look.
Always good to have those reminders. Okay.
Yeah, it's still not published yet.
Okay. But should be very soon. So we need to
it
keep
should
an
be
eye on
very
that.
soon. So maybe early next week, hopefully. Try to help out what needs to be added to the blog to get it through.
And Deba is part of the release team comms team, so he should be aware of that when it comes out. And he had claimed that action item to make sure a tweet gets made about it. So he will probably do that. What to do with 1.24 to make sure you have a running cluster. So that's the one that Kat made, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Cool. I'm looking through the issue here. And this is the one that was merged and everything. So we've already got a tweet out on that. So I guess we can remove that one.
Yep.
Cool. We still don't know the date on the webinar, I assume, if that's going to happen.
I'll check with James on that.
Okay. And then tweet about feature blogs that come out after the release comes out. We'll have to wait to see what that looks like. I didn't even finish writing out this next action item for myself, but it was checking if Matt would like to be removed. I'm gonna write it out anyway, even though I'm about to delete it. Matt, he would like to be removed from the ContribCom Slack group, which he said yes to, so we should do that. So I need to I added the action item in the notes. I'll just go ahead and add a new row below. To remove Matt from the Slack group. And then the next one on there is kind of a long-term thing that we should add a note in the repo about this new action items area that we have in our notes for folks who take on the role of leading meetings. I didn't do that this week, but still on my list. And delete this row and leave that row. And then retweet the release cadence survey, which somehow I promptly did not do. But we did tweet out the release cadence survey again, at least, so that's good. And note to self to write things down better, even when they're like 2 seconds of my time if I actually do them, because I'm really bad about forgetting things right after this meeting, since it's Friday and this is often my only meeting and it's at 8 a.m. So got done one way or another, at least. So I'll delete that row. Cool. And I don't think, was anyone here involved with updating the contributor comms Slack group when we did that like a couple weeks ago? Because I was not directly involved in it.
I did that. I actually put the file just to change. If anyone's
okay.
interested, can just edit that. Yeah.
Okay. If you have a link to.
Yeah, I put it in the notes. If anyone's looking for
perfect.
pull request. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. I'll add that note there. Mm-hmm. Okay. And does anyone particularly want to take that, or shall I take that on and actually write it out this time so that I don't forget it? I feel like I might as well do that. I will take it. So assigning myself to the action item to remove Matt from our Slack group. Okay. And that is our table of open action items. Any other campaigns in progress or open action items that people want to report on that we have forgotten about and people actually remember? Don't think there's anything else. So then we'll move on to new items. I know there were several pings at us in the ContribEx channel this week, most of which I didn't have much time to pay attention to. So we can check on those in a minute, but Arnaud, is Arnaud here? Yes.
Yes, morning and evening for everyone. So, wait. I'm the co-chair of SIG Infra, and we're working on the migration of gate.gcr.io to registry gate.io. It's been a long journey since last year, and we are at the point where we basically the new endpoint is up. Now we need to broadcast the message to the entire planet that this endpoint is up and running. We should use that. So the first main action will be to update the KK repo to use that endpoint when 1.25 will begin. I already talked to release engineering and SIG release about this over the last 3 months. Now this is like a change of one piece of infrastructure. It's mostly plumbing. There's no deprecation of something. We just replace one endpoint with a new one. So we really need more strategy about communication and marketing. Reach out to CNCF about this, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, whatever, you know. I mean, we just need to spread the word about this, because basically we want to also capture the existing traffic going to Google and be sent to us.
Okay. So
When
this is
yes,
audience for this is both end users and contributors, right? Mainly
yes,
end
yes.
users, probably. Okay.
Yes. Contribute main user, because when it's gonna be in 125, by the time every major infrastructure or Kubernetes cluster upgrade to 125, it's gonna be it's gonna be like in a year or 2 years. So right now we just want to spread the word about everyone basically using something like Kind, Minikube to Curb Spray and Cops to basically either upgrade their tooling or trying to use this endpoint.
I'm guessing the links that you sent looks like one of them is kind of a overview doc that'll go over a lot of this, right?
Yeah, the wiki page is mostly a description on what we are doing, because it's a continuous improvement of the new platform, but it's up and running because it's a plain redirect to kgci.io. Right now, we want to basically capture the traffic and understand what's happening and how we can optimize the cost about that. Because right now we pay a high cost in terms of artifact distribution.
Okay.
So I'm trying to come up with some communication campaign, but you are the best in the game about this. So this is request for help.
All right. So definitely something that we should tweet about. And this effort, it's already happened, right? Registry.kh.io is like already up.
It's already up.
Okay. So we can go ahead and tweet that.
Yep.
So we should.
I want basically start the campaign like at the beginning of 125 officially, because this is the moment the master branch will be open and we can basically start to spread the word. I think it's like in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. So we can officially start to spread the word about this.
Sorry, what was in 2 weeks?
And the release on 124.
Oh, the one. Yeah, okay.
Beginning, not the official beginning of 125, but the moment when everyone can merge to the master branch of Kubernetes of the KK repo.
Code phrase is lifted.
Yeah, code phrase is lifted and.
Okay. And are you working with, because it sounds like this is going to require a lot of docs work, right? To change where we reference one in the doc to the other. Are you already working with SIG docs on that?
It's going to be mostly, I will open a pull request against the K website and just update everything in the website.
That sounds like a lot of things.
Let me know if you need any help. I'm the SIG docs co-chair, so I could help out.
Okay. I will. I think Jim Angel is aware of it.
Jim is also, yeah.
So we at some point I will have maybe 1 terabyte of GitHub repo in my machine, trying to update everything everywhere because it needs to be done. We want to basically capture at least 15% of the traffic going to kgc.io to us. So that basically help us really understand what's happening with artifact distribution and optimize that.
All right. So immediate things that we can help with on this are obviously making a tweet, which is a relatively smooth process for us. And it sounds like, are you working on a blog post on this yet?
Not at the moment. I think I need to sync with the SIG specifically teams about this. I mean, there are public communication inside the community. We send message in some Google groups about this, but we will spread the word over time. So,
and do we think that this is something that we need to use our Slack bot to communicate to SIG? So we have a bot to explain this. We have some automation that we can use to send out messages to like all of the SIG channels within the Slack when we need to like ping people and get their attention.
And the problem is not everything is affected by this. I think that's
Yeah.
it's gonna be really difficult to tell to the bot which SIG you want to target. So basically, send an official communication to devs at
KDev,
KDev will
Mhm.
be enough, and we can try to basically retalk to people and basically say, oh, this is up and running. I mean, me and Jimson, me have been talking to many folks, SIG Nuts, SIG Cluster Lifecycle, SIG Scalability about this. So people are aware of that, of the effort. So it's not really, a message will be enough.
Cool. So no need for Slack bot. You do need a KDev email. You all haven't done that yet?
Not yet. I think James will do something.
Okay.
James or Tim can, I mean, someone with influence, I would say, something like
that. Yeah, that makes sense. So probably don't need help with the KDev email at the moment. Slackbot doesn't seem like a good fit. So the main things that we could help with at this point are probably tweet and maybe blog post.
Tweet, blog posts, everywhere.
Yeah.
In the downstream, like everywhere in the downstream. Everyone, I mean, venture, any project using KK as a platform should basically be aware of that. Because most of the traffic coming from people using OpenAid distribution of Kubernetes or OpenAid installer of Kubernetes, because basically the cloud, the managed service of the cloud provider don't use that endpoint most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Rancher folks know. I'm Rancher. I'm from Rancher.
That's good.
Yeah. So if we can spread the word in SUSE about this, like.
Yeah, I'll spread it. And yeah, you're right. We should spread it to, I believe I was on a call. There's on the CNCF landscape, there's a distributor vertical. So those are possible candidates to send the word to.
Interesting. I don't think we've ever used the CNCF landscape to be like, this is the audience for a message before. So that's exciting and new.
Yeah, that could be.
So distributor section.
Yeah, I'll take a look because I know the company I'm with is part of that.
Yeah. Of the CNCF landscape.
I think the most complex thing about this is it's plumbing, because you just change one piece to another, and you just need to inform people, hey, I do that change. You basically take care of that on your side.
Okay. I don't know what we can directly do with the distributor section of the CNCF landscape off the top of my head. We could maybe put out an ask for anyone in the community who works at those companies to make sure that they know about this, but we don't have to solve that problem right this second, I guess.
And we don't basically deprecate the existing one. We just basically want to say, oh, you should use this new endpoint in the future, but the old one will be around for a very long time, or until Google decide to delete. Because we don't own that, and we basically don't know how Google can, I would say, react, because GCR is officially deprecated. So at some point they can come up and basically say, oh, we remove everything related to GCR in a year. So now everyone has to do the migration.
I have not heard anything about it inside of Google, but that's not necessarily saying anything that's going on somewhere else.
I think that's one scary is you don't know. Let's say GCI is deprecated. They even remove the SLA on the service and every metrics possible you can use about, but you don't have a clear vision about the product.
All right, so it seems like updating the docs will probably be the most impactful way to communicate this. But for tweet, does anyone particularly want to take on the action item of looking through these docs and putting together a tweet? You're also welcome to do it yourself. I know we can give you the link if you would like to craft the tweet yourself.
Yeah, I'm not good at writing stuff, but I will try to do something.
We can fix it up for you. If you give
Yeah.
us something to work from, it'll make it a bit faster, I think. So
Okay.
let's see here. Let me grab the link.
Yeah, I saw the
Yeah,
in the chat. I see the link in the chat. Yeah, I'll try to
perfect.
come up with something.
Awesome. I'll put that in the notes as well. Arnaud to put together a draft tweet for us. And you can create your draft tweet within the issue actually, and it will create a PR automatically for you. So,
Okay.
so once you get that in, we can recommend changes and go back and forth on it a little bit and get that out. And then for the blog post, is that something that you all would write?
Not necessarily. I mean, I trust you to do the best. I mean, all the blog article are amazing, so I don't have to help you will come up with something.
Oftentimes contributor comms actually acts as more of a reviewer and guide through the blog post writing process. And we're often not the writers. We usually have someone who is who's closer to what's happening be the main writer.
Okay. Yeah, I can do something like that. We have the entire milestone to do that, so it's not really a problem for that.
Okay, it's not super urgent.
Yeah.
I hate
I
that
could also
we're
help out too.
yeah. I hate that we're putting more stuff on you, but okay. So Arnaud to work with Ray. Arnaud to work with Ray on getting a blog post started. That's a good way to say this. Thank you, Ray, for volunteering to help shepherd this. Cool. And we can check in on that again next week and see if you've been able to get that started or anything is in your way, and we can see how we can help get that moving. All right.
To be honest, it's gonna be bandwidth because too many things happening. Test is next week, so and the week after is like it's a release. I'm release manager associate, so it's gonna be bandwidth for me.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And that's a big thing for you to own and have to do a lot of stuff with. So we'll do what we can to help lighten that load.
I can help with the blog post too. So
okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'm putting these action items in the notes for now, and I'll put them in the table at the top to make sure that we go over them next time after this. All right, so that's our 2 action items that we're going to work on for this for now is we need to get a tweet going, which I know give us a skeleton and we'll work on the draft and make sure that it's good to go. And then we'll work with you on getting a blog post started as well.
Okay.
Thanks for reaching out to us and joining our meeting to let us know about this.
My pleasure.
Much appreciated. Okay. Other new items that people have noticed? Question. Chris was talking about a SIG Spotlight blog some months ago, and you're interested in moving forward with that. Yes. So SIG Spotlight blogs are a campaign that we started like a couple of years ago, just as like an ongoing potential action item. Also, yeah, you just need to pull up an issue to start your org membership. Thank you, Pernisor, for saying that, and I didn't notice. But yes, so the SIG Spotlight blogs, are, like I said, are an ongoing open action item. If you want to take up one of those, you would need to reach out to the co-chairs of whatever SIG you wanted to do your spotlight on and work on creating a blog post about what the SIG does, specific areas where they need help, and specific projects that they have going on at the moment that are exciting. We have a few examples that we can point your way. Yeah, so I can give you some more information about that effort if you want to pick one up. I think maybe we should sync in the Slack, just like do DMs back and forth so that I can get you all the resources that you need to understand that. So I'll add that as a new thing. And there's a list somewhere-ish, maybe. So this used to be an umbrella issue that we kept open since it was like a long running open action item. And so on there, people would post which SIGs they had done spotlights of, and we only did like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or something. But then we decided that umbrella issues weren't the best thing because they get stale and they weren't that easy to keep updated and stuff. So we kind of got rid of that umbrella issue, and I'm not sure where we would find that information now. Since the annual survey is around the corner, is it a good time to get one started? That's a good question. I'm sure Paris will have stuff for us on the annual survey. And I wonder if this will in fact conflict with that work in some ways. Like it would go along with it nicely, just we'll probably have a good amount of work to do with the annual report. So I don't know if we want to be working on both at the same time just for bandwidth reasons, but we can work that out. Does anyone have details on the annual survey, where that's at and what the timeline looks like? Okay, we can check in on that. Just in Sig Spotlight. Aslan to get you resources on that. So we can always look into starting one and then work around the annual survey as it comes up. These SIG spotlights tend to take a while because you've got to go back and forth interviewing the co-chairs. So I can go ahead and get you the information about the effort at least, and we can get something started if we want. Go through some of the Spotlight blogs and ask about this in the next biweekly ContribEx meeting. Asking about the annual report in the biweekly ContribEx meeting makes sense. And yeah, I'll get you the other existing Spotlight blog links as best I can so that you can go over those. I'll add an action item to ask about the annual report in the next ContribEx meeting. It's not a bad idea. Cool. And then like I said, I know there were some pings on Slack, but my Slack threads is just like only showing me old stuff right now. So I'm not sure.
I'll share you the links.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now maybe it's working better. Yeah, okay. My thread seems to have updated itself. Yeah, there was some long thread that Paris pinged us into that she recommended that we use as an onboarding tool for new contributors, something related to last week in Kubernetes, LWKD. That's what that is. What's the D stand for?
Development.
Development, that makes sense. Okay. Is that the Slack that you have here? Why does this link want to open in my browser and not in my... Is that the...
Yeah, it's the link of that particular thread. And maybe
That
I'm
one,
using
okay.
the browser, so it's not working on your app.
Yeah, apparently. But that's the last week in Kubernetes one, right?
Yeah.
Kubernetes development. LWKD. Okay. Why does it not want to be a bullet point? I don't know, but there we go. There we are. Okay, so the link is in the notes, and I'm not, what exactly was being said in this thread? I saw it come up, but was in the middle of other things and didn't get to review it. So Para said something about us using it as an onboarding tool. I'm guessing something about contributing content to last week in Kubernetes development. Anyone go over this Slack thread better than me?
Yeah, just reviewed it. Yeah, just pinging contributor comms to use LWKD as an onboarding tool. What you said was exactly right.
Okay, so use it as something that people can contribute to, though, right?
Yeah, and have
Okay.
new contributors provide LWKD with content and reviews.
Yeah, so this is something that's actually been going on for a while for context for folks. The LWKD folks, mainly Josh, have been looking for folks to help them with the load of that publication. And so it was discussed that that would be taken over by the contributor comms group, and we were pretty sure that was going to happen, and then nothing really happened with it until the present. So this is good progress on that it looks like they would like our help on. So it's good. So new contributors might want to consider contributing information to this. It's a really good opportunity to start getting tied into the many nooks and crannies of the Kubernetes community to understand where to find news and how to understand what's going on across the community. So we discussed before that this is a really good opportunity, but we also probably need some guidance on it, on how to do it. Thanks for joining, Arnell. Have a good weekend. I think he's already gone, but yeah, so the last week in Kubernetes development thing is exciting. But I personally don't know that much about doing it. So this thread is going to be a useful resource. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do that. That's what I'm going to do after this. So for now, that's the best way to learn more. And if we start picking up some of this work, if we start diving into this a little bit more, we should eventually create some guidance in our repo, or maybe a role, or maybe a LWKD journalist role to help out with this. And if we create a role around it, then we can create a guide on here's how you contribute to LWKD, here are recommendations for finding the information that you need, all of that stuff. But for now, we don't really know because we haven't been helping out with LWKD. So if you get involved with this effort, we would love it if you would record what you learn and kind of make a role around it. We'll discuss it again maybe next week because it's something that we shouldn't drop. So I'm going to put an action item in about this.
Do they have any kind of meeting or something about specifically for it?
I don't know. I think it's been just kind of Josh by himself and maybe like one other person. So I don't know if they have a regular recurring meeting, but he really wants new people to help contribute to that. So you could always reach out to Josh directly and maybe recommend that they do if they don't and maybe they do. I don't know. Does that make sense? It's a very iffy response, but. So can also reach out to Jay Burkus. Understand more. And he would be thrilled if this is something that you think sounds like a really cool opportunity. Totally recommend that you reach out to Josh. Did someone want to do that? Avinash, was this something that appealed to you?
I think I'll go. I'll go and have a talk with him.
Awesome. He would love that. So I'll go ahead and put you down for an action item for it, just so that we can track what's going on with this and check in with you about it.
Sounds good.
Excellent. I'm excited because I've wanted us to pick up that work. Good, good. Ray, you had posted something in Slack a couple days ago about the publishing date for a proposed blog site or blog post on the contributor site, which I also didn't really look at, but was there help that you needed there?
I actually forgot what that was. What I guess not.
Tim had responded to it, so.
Oh yeah, yes. There was a blog. A contributor posted on the Sig Docs blog about a Kubernetes.dev blog post, and they're asking for help with what if with the new proposed dates. And Tim suggested not yesterday because we already have one of the Docker Shim blogs published yesterday. So
that makes sense. Dates for a proposed blog.
Yeah, it's about the helper CI job blog.
Helper CI. Okay. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
It sounds like Tim kind of covered it.
Yeah, actually it hasn't. Right now it has the date 3/15, which already passed. I'll put it in the chats.
Thank you.
And post it in the agenda too.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yes, I don't know if this contributor has reached out to contributor comms before about getting this blog through. Looks like the date's been changed a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of comments on it.
Looks like it, yeah.
I don't know if it's ready yet to be published. I don't think so.
Yeah, sounds iffy.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Tim is on it, on reviewing it. We can always offer our additional review, but at this stage, that might be. Sounds like it's already well underway. But good thing for us to be aware of, because we'll probably want to tweet about it since it is a blog post that will come out. And was this one that was planned to be cross-posted or just on the contributor site, the dev site?
I think just on the contributor site.
Okay. So that is definitely a good one for us to be aware of.
Oh, you know what? Actually, it is planned to be cross-posted.
Okay.
Yes.
I was thinking it might be with Tim that involved with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks
Okay.
Like yep.
Cross-post. Good to know. So good to keep an eye on, and we'll want to promote that with a tweet once it comes out. Just a general thing on blogs. All right. Thank you, Ray, for pointing that out to us. And I think that's it for Slack updates. It felt like a lot since that the one Paris was on was very active. And it looks like there's still movement going on the APAC Meet Our Contributors blog series, which is good. Nothing in particular for us to do there, but always good to know that that blog post is ongoing, blog series is ongoing. Nothing about that. Excellent. So I think that's about the end of our agenda today. Was there anything else that people wanted to talk about? I don't think we have any new folks today. Usually at the beginning, we offer for new folks to introduce themselves if they wanted to, but. Oh, nice. Thank you, Parniswar, for the update on the APAC Meet Our Contributors blog posts. Progressing quite well with a new region now in Korea. Exciting. Great work going on there. I didn't actually check on our board, which I should probably do, but the only things that are open on it are the APAC Meet Our Contributors blog post, which we talked about, and the community meeting thing, which is just a thing. We used to have one in progress here for the SIG profile. So if you wanted to pick that up again, that was Parniswar, right? Yes. I'll chat with you, Parniswar, offline on Slack, and we'll figure out if we want to start that up again. And I think it's always a good blog series to work on. It's pretty cool work, but we'll figure it out. So I think that's about it. Right. Any other new stuff? Yes, awesome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording then. Thank you everyone for coming.